Okay, here are some recordings, and here are some that caught my attention last night. We have another victim of the crime beast, which is par for the course. Like almost every day, on a weekly basis, the demon feasts upon another Jamaican civilian or civilians, if most of the time. So, and here is the latest victim. This is a guy named as Wayne Williams, and he was killed by killed near St. Mary home in a under very spooky circumstances. So let's go. A 45-year-old businessman was killed by a man near his house in the Charlestown area on this past Sunday. Head of St. Mary Police Division Superintendent Babette Morgan yesterday confirmed that Wayne Williams was raking up a property adjacent to his house about 11 a.m. when two loud explosions were heard. A man seen shortly after entered the house of the businessman, where he reportedly held Williams' common-law wife at gunpoint and demanded Williams' licensed firearm. Bear in mind, one observer printed it, they told a very different story, but let's just go on. The woman was allegedly roughed up by the lone gunman, and she reportedly handed over the gun to the culprit. The woman also reported that after the man left, she heard an explosion outside the house. The police were called, and upon arrival, Wayne Williams was basically executed by the same gunman whose name not being named. Police also said that the suspect is beat about 5'7" tall, of slim build, and appears to have also altered discolor with skin bleaching. He reportedly escaped on foot in nearby bushes. And yeah, they're going to talk about the crime statistics. Now, in the story by Observer, again, I had some questions. It basically I think it made mention that there were more than one assailant. So I don't know which is accurate, which is said. And I think they made it sound like he was killed in his home and whatever. And so on. They also said that they demanded the firearm. The suspect or suspects, whichever story you're going to read, demand the firearms from Williams first before, and he refused to comply, and then they killed him as a result. And then I was just saying, whole bunch of things didn't make sense about here. Like, first of all, I don't know how many assailants, because they keep giving different stories. How did the assailant or suspect or suspects know that he had a firearm? Or even though they don't say they just killed outside his house, like, I was wondering how weren't the security system or so on, or why exactly did they leave the wife alive? I know I'm not accusing the wife of having anything to do with it, but I'd assume if they're going to leave the wife alive, that they would have had a mask. Although, from what they're saying here is that the mask, that the suspect in question didn't hide his face. So I'm just kind of wondering some stuff there. Like, I tried to go through trouble just for a licensed firearm, and again, it begs the question: how did they know he had a firearm? Did somebody tip them off he had a firearm, or was Williams careless enough to run loose with the lips and say, "Yo, yeah, I have a licensed gun on me," and then and then some people of ill intent heard that and said, yeah, thank you for advertising that, you dumb idiot. It's time we relieve you of that firearm. I mean, if you're going to let us know that you have one. I mean, because usually most people, licensed firearm holders, are smart enough to not let that be public knowledge, unless they have some blabbermouth friends and families that mentioned outside of the home to some people that, hey, my relative or my friend here has a firearm, which again some people of ill intent probably heard and said, yeah, it's time that we take this firearm right now. It's not happening that some of these these little scum sucking bottom feeders would go to way to acquire these weapons, because those weapons help them to commit in some these other crimes, or if they want to sell it, yeah, they'll have these firearms. But it has made me feel like there's much more to this story, because again, how exactly, if the suspect was masked, how did the suspect know about it? Again, could be something or a case where Williams was killed, or anyone in the circle was enough to tell the person that they had a firearm, or even why exactly did they spare the wife. And again, I'm not saying that, okay, the wife was in on it, but usually if the person's unmasked and they don't want any witnesses because they figured, okay, the wife could easily just alert other people, or cry for help. So it's better just to take her out so that she can't identify me or whatever. There are a lot of things that are not really and so on. Cause and also, even if I'm going to do the trouble of getting a firearm, why not just take a lot of the valuables out of the house though? Cause I'm just wondering if there's more to the story like this. And this is not me putting on my tinfoil hat or just playing YouTube detective. Because again, I was not the scene of the crime, but yeah, most people would have some very logical questions as, okay, I was going to like, how exactly would I know that this guy had a firearm, or so on, or even why would I just take one firearm, like when there's some possibly some money and some other items in the house that I could have just taken with me and take it with me. I don't know. I can't exactly say how a criminal mind works. I'm saying if I was someone who had that mindset, is that I'm not going to go through all that trouble, not wearing a mask, leaving behind a witness who could likely identify me at some point. Because I would assume there'd be cameras on the house. Although I'm not sure. Maybe they didn't believe in us having a security system or cameras. I do not know the whole story. But yeah, there's some questions I have right here. And most people would have some of those questions. Like, was it just basically farms or was it something else? I do not know, but yeah, there's something's off about the story because the news outlets are telling very different stories. Because I'm hearing this more than one suspect. Star saying this was one particular suspect, and they're not saying whether the suspect had a mask or not. Even though Star's basically saying, hey, this guy didn't obviously have a mask, and the common denominator is, why would you leave the wife alive though? Because you know that the wife could easily have screamed, or if she goes to the police or someone else, that she can say, hey, this guy who looks like so and so did this. But then again, I wasn't there, so who knows? But this is all I have to say. Very spooky, sinister scenario, and I hope justice comes or ever. But I do honestly believe there's some more to the story than it's being reported. So this is for State of Jamaica and the Caribbean. Check out my YouTube page, Miles Goodson Farron. Miles Productions, your thoughts and Miles. Alright.